welcome to Simbang Santai MITI NIMP 2030. I'm your host, Sabrina Zainal, and today we're going to be diving into how Malaysia's National Transformation Plan links to real-life careers in STEM and entrepreneurship. So to help us gain insight on this matter, we've got two special guests here today, Amirul Merican and Chor Chee, co-founders of Carbotech, a Malaysian agri-tech startup using science and innovation to boost crop yields and improve food security. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you, Sabrina.
How are you doing?
Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you here today. Thank you for being here. Now, let's dive right into it. So we've got, my first question is kind of the bitter truth. Why is Malaysia still stuck doing low-value work while other countries leap ahead? And it's a tough but necessary question, but I think we hear this all the time, that Malaysia is a doer country. So, we build, we assemble, we don't really innovate. What do you think of this, and why do you think many Malaysians believe that we don't get the cool high-tech jobs in the country?
Yeah, so for me, the definition of low value is always just we're using our hands more than we're using our brain. So in Malaysia, it's always known that our labor is very cheap and we will just do whatever that is easy for manufacturing. Never innovating. It's just whatever the other countries come to our country and tell us to do something, we just do that. So as a young person, whenever I grew up and I studied, I always know that, okay, the better opportunities lie in the UK or in the US. They have cooler things there. If you want to start a business, it's always Silicon Valley. They have the more futuristic thing. But little do we know that there are so many good companies coming out in Malaysia, and we have a lot of potential. So I think, maybe Chee want to add more?
Yeah, so I kind of disagree with Malaysians are only focusing on low value jobs or tasks. Before this, I worked in the aviation industry. And I have been working in aviation industry for a decade, so I have seen a lot of high-value job opportunities across the supply chain, and a lot of talented Malaysians are working hard in this industry, and they are actually achieving a lot of accomplishments in terms of design, maintenance, repair, and relating back to our startup in Malaysia, Carbotech, we have a number of talented employees who are STEM educated, and they are really good in their own domain. So they are the agronomist experts, mechanical engineers who are our operation experts, and also plant scientists who are actually really know all the characteristics or behaviors of plants, just like how we are treating our babies. They treated the plants just like their babies. So I think there are a lot of talents and a lot of opportunities of not so low value job available in Malaysia. And maybe our focus is more on the complaining part of things, the low value part, but we didn't really praise and acknowledge the high value opportunities. Yeah.
So I guess in your view, to summarize it, is that we have to acknowledge more that there are these opportunities here in the country, right?
Yes.
So what do you think is the biggest thing that is holding us back from moving up the value chain? Start with Amirul.
I think the mindset of the young generation, like I mentioned earlier, when I grew up, it's always looking at the West, but never looking at your own country. Like, how do we even know that there are so many different things that is happening if it is not well publicized? I think what Malaysian are lack of is a storytelling. I think Chee and I, we always, whenever we go overseas and whenever we see these other startups, they always know how to tell their stories. They always market themselves so well. But as Malaysian, whenever we do things, we keep it on a down low.
Or we are too humble.
We're too humble, yeah, exactly.
Too modest.
So we never know what the researchers in University Putra Malaysia are doing. Like as a student, I would never know other universities in Malaysia what they are up to. But in the West, in the developed countries, it is always publicized. It is always told. The stories are then shared to the students. The students are aware what is available out there. So if I want to put it simply, our researchers, there are so many talents, there are so many new things, cool things. what is stopping us is because we're not sharing enough. We're not putting it out there enough. So that is my take on how we can go up the value chain.
I think once more stories are shared, it can be very inspirational for
Exactly.
many young
Yes.
people and for the next generations, not just
Correct.
the current
To be
ones.
inspired
Correct.
as well. Like what we do here in Carbotech, we're using nanotechnology. Like you will probably just hear that in Ant-Man in Marvel. They're looking at
Yeah, in
nano
movies,
quantum
for
things.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. But there is that nanotechnology happening here in Malaysia. Dr. Surya discovered this fragments of carbon that acts like chlorophyll to enhance plants' photosynthesis. Like people, that is the first of its kind, and we are doing that here in Malaysia. So there
Even
are
just that
so
title
many,
sounds really
Yeah.
amazing and fancy.
Exactly. So there's so many cool things happening in Malaysia, but we just never know where these things are. Yeah.
And also because of what we are doing in nanotechnology, we somewhat attracted a group of very talented employees who are passionate enough to believe in our vision and mission, because we're using nanotechnology for agriculture to benefit farmers, to improve their livelihoods. So I think what I observe in our team, they are really driven by their own motivation, their personal values. That's something different from what I have observed in my previous career life. And back to your question about moving up the supply chain, I think there are a lot of initiatives by the government trying to encourage researchers from the university to commercialize their technologies. So a lot of initiatives or incentives are given. So I think this will somewhat boost more opportunities, more commercialization opportunities for researchers, but it's not going to happen overnight. Because, for example, the initiative kickstarted maybe just 3 years ago, we will only see the fruit maybe after 3 to 10 years, right? So I think we need to see more and more private sectors coming in as well to partner up with the government initiatives to really adopt the technologies and high value innovations from the universities.
Absolutely. Now, I want to go into what students need to hear. So, do you think are young Malaysians actually missing out on high-paying, high-tech opportunities here in Malaysia because they don't know they exist? Then, do you think that they're just kind of straight away looking overseas to kind of to find their careers?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, right? So these students, if given the opportunity, I guess for them it's sexier to look at other countries. It's always greener on the other side. But like the saying goes, it's always greener where you water it. So if you actually look at the opportunities that is here available in Malaysia, you would find a lot. There are so many startups that are doing cool stuff. One of them, they're looking at the wireless charging on the dark side of the moon. That is something that is happening also here in Malaysia. There are so many other startups here in Malaysia that are doing something that is, innovative, and it is high paying because it has so much potential, but people are not aware. So if students are made aware, again, through all this social media platform, government initiatives pushing more professors to go out there to commercialize their research findings, all the patented technology, then one day, 3 to 10 years, hopefully, we will get more people looking into Malaysia, and maybe having more Europeans coming to Malaysia to come and work here in
and
Malaysia.
learn from us instead.
Yes, exactly.
So, how would you break this down in the simplest way possible for a 13-year-old, let's say? So we're going even younger than university students. If you had to explain high-value industries to them, because I think we should start younger so they can kind of process it, and then by the time they hit university age, okay, they know already what this topic is. So how would you describe it in the simplest terms for a person this age?
So for me, I would not really explain what is value. I would maybe reframe it like, what is the potential impact? How many people will this particular job or this particular technology could impact or affect? So for example, I have a 6-year-old in my family. I would always ask him questions to let him think about a certain action that he did, what will be the repercussion, what will be the impact or effects to other human being. So if the particular task or job, it's going to impact a lot of people in the positive way, that it's high value in my definition.
Yeah, I think definitely agree to that. I think we should be moving away from doing something that is mundane, like a lot of just repeating repetition. If we are able to move our industry into more innovation, more tinkering, more thinking, more using your brain rather than using your hands to do things, I think that is for me high value. You're using every time you come into the office, what is the problem I'm solving next? What is innovation? What is a solution I am providing to the society, to the community, to the world out there? So what kind of impact am I putting out there? So if I'm able to do that, that's my definition of giving back and having a high value job.
Yeah, having that impact
Yes.
wherever you go, right? So right now, the mental picture I think a lot of Malaysians have is that working at a factory is very boring, mundane, repetitive. It's low skilled work. But that's not what the modern industry looks like anymore. So what makes today's industries like biotech, advanced manufacturing, clean energy, completely different from that old school factory perception?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess whenever we talk about factory, the first thing that comes to mind is a lot of laborers doing things that are repetitive, doing things that is just maybe packing, then put it aside. But in the new age, we have a lot of automation. All these things can be done by using a robot, by using AI system, by using analytics. So there are not going to be a lot of people doing something using your hands, but more so the jobs that is required in the factory would be a lot of thinking. What is the most efficient way I can do this task? How do I come up with the most cost-effective way? So that kind of roles are what is required more in the factory rather than, okay, I'm monitoring these operators to do the same thing again and again to achieve the same thing. So in the future, using more tools, more technology, AI, all these combine it together and always finding a better solution or a more efficient way to get to a certain outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, and technology is ever evolving as well, like especially
Exactly.
AI these days as well. So I think it's something to look forward to in the future. It's not the same anymore, is it? And what aspects of your work, I guess, because I'm curious, what is the most shocking thing do you think that people would find in your like day to day?
I think for me will be the few visits that we had, because we really travel into the rural areas to talk to our farmers, our customers, and we had many incidents that the tire punctured, our car broke down in the middle of nowhere, and we are in the rural areas that have very limited internet connections, no reception. So I think this kind of experiences maybe the external entities will not able to relate. Yeah. And these are the actual struggles of farmers as well, because those are their journey that they are going to take daily. So I think this side of or this kind of experiences will somewhat educate our team as well to be more appreciative and to be more empathetic to our customers and farmers.
Yeah, just to add, like I joined the co-founding team of Carbotech only just a year ago. So when I joined and I got the opportunity to travel to Indonesia, one of the first visits that I had to see this farmer. So when I know of what Dr. Suraya has come up with, this new nanotechnology that could enhance photosynthesis, it sounds so cool, but what does it mean to this farmer? So when we went to visit a farm in Indonesia, the Indonesian farmer said, on a yearly, I'm seeing a decline in my yield. So this year I'm producing 10 tons, next year I'm producing 8 tons. So the automated response to them is to use more fertilizers. So by using more fertilizers, by using more chemical, they are affected by it. They're like literally their hands are corroded, and the field is. Before this, you see so many fishes, so many living things. There are none. So for them, their automated response more chemical. But when they then start using our product, they are able to then see for us here in Malaysia, also a return of biodiversity back into the field because they're using natural derived product and not relying on chemical usage. So for me, I'm like, wow, this is truly impactful with solving the pinpoint of a farmer that is seeing a decline in yield by having improvement in their yield and by reducing the chemical usage, because that truly harms not just the soil or the food that we take, but the farmer who then puts it onto the ground. Because these are like class 3, like this pesticide, the herbicide, that's class 3 poison, but they're not like equipped to wear it. They don't wear PPE, the protective equipment. They not gonna spend on that. They literally just throw it away, and they smell this, and it has no smell, and that then affects their health. So for us, truly, when I saw that, it was a true eye opener for me, and I'm like, oof, there's so much potential this product can help these farmers, and that is.
I remember I was so touched when one of the farmers actually sent us a video of him catching a big fish in his paddy field, and he said that for the past 5 years he has never seen such a big fish in the field.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like heavily polluted with chemicals.
Yeah. So we can start to see the biodiversity kind of returning into their land as well, overseas. I think that's really amazing. And I guess since you brought up these experiences, there's a sense of urgency about this. What actually happens to Malaysia if we remain a low-cost, low-skilled economy, and what do we risk losing, in your opinion?
So maybe I will go first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think if I just want to give an example. If everyone is going to be a Grab driver, somewhat like it's still good. It's still able to help them with their livelihoods, but we will kind of like create a gap or vacuum that no one else is going to do other jobs rather than maybe a freelance Grab driver. So I think that vacuum will somewhat block our growth in terms of moving to commercialization of science and technological developments or innovations. So I think a lot of our, a few of our employees, before they are being hired to in Carbotech, they were also stuck in the freelancing job opportunities. They were Grab drivers. They were also part-timing at McDonald's, because they are just waiting for a suitable job opportunity. And I think for employer side, we need to create more job opportunities by targeting higher value markets. So, for example, just quoting the way that Carbotech did it, we were also selling our products to international markets, and by doing so, we somewhat created like a higher value market opportunities, and with that, we could hire more Malaysian workforce to fulfill that gap or that vacuum.
How about you, Amirul?
Yeah, I think just to add on to what Chiho mentioned, right? When it's a pity for us to see a lot whenever we put our job vacancy out there, to see this resume that reads out, oh, I did masters in agronomics, I did all this high level study in science, but their experience working in the McDonald's, freelancing in a Grab. So it's exactly, so when they are not given the opportunity, there is no opportunity that is there for them to take, then it's hard for them to shine, for us to realize their potential. So I think definitely high value jobs are out there. As employers, our duty is to push it out there, approach universities that these jobs are available, apply for them.
And then they're so passionate about what they have studied. I remember one of our employees actually educated us about all the rare species in Malaysia that is unique to our environment. So I learned so much from them actually. And before they are being hired, they were just maybe haven't met the relevant or suitable opportunities.
Yeah.
Do you have advice on for people who are like graduates who are maybe in this kind of position? What would you advise then?
I think for me, because when I graduated, I also never knew that there are so many potentials employers that you can apply to work with. So one thing is to ask around, to ask even like MITI, all these government agencies, Cradle, Meranti, they know so much of what is available out there. So just connect to these students. Tell these students that, tell these fresh grads that these are the opportunities that are available here in Malaysia. If you look into the websites of vacancies, you always see the big names, CIMB, Kazana. Those then get a lot of applicants, but not everyone get to go into that kind of job. Not everyone did do finances, do economics. There's the sciences company that maybe not be super well publicized, but require a lot of people to work in the company. So for me, the graduates need to be more proactive in getting this information, either through government companies or social media now play a very important role.
Huge
There are
role, yes.
a lot of now societies or Instagram handles that are curating this media and saying that, hey, this professor is doing this research. If you're interested, you can just link up to this university, this research project, and take on from there. So yeah, be more proactive. Don't just look at what is available, what is the first search in your Google to then apply for that job. There are more opportunities out there. You just need to ask around.
Do you have anything to add on?
Yeah, I totally agree with Amirul, being proactive, and also maybe you are in the period of just graduated and you are waiting for your first paid job per se. So don't limit yourself. Maybe look for internship opportunities. So maybe you can just send messages to social media or a particular company that you like, request for an opportunity to intern with them, maybe for a month or two, so that you will know better of that particular industry or that particular company before you being like an official hire. So I think in the past, Carbotech also received a number of inquiries about interns, opportunities. So we do recruit interns as well to allow them to have the feel of working in a startup, working in an agri-tech company. So if they feel that it's suitable for them, then we will also hire those who are really able to meet our expectation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to move on into go deeper into innovation. I don't think it's optional anymore nowadays. So why do you think that is? And why do companies have to adopt tech and automation and new ways of doing things just to, survive and keep afloat?
Yeah, I think to relate it back to moving up the value chain, if you don't innovate, then you're not solving a real world problem, because whatever problems that there are already now that we are looking into, through whatever existing methods that we are having, is not going to work. The problems is there because no one is there to solve it. So through innovation, only then you are able to solve problems. So for Carbotech, we are solving the food security issues. We know farmers are seeing a decline in their yield. So how then we help these farmers? Because this is their sole income. If we see a decline in yield and their first response is to increase fertilizer, it's an additional cost to them. So it is a lesser revenue or income for them to support their family. So we saw the need to solve this problem, and Dr. Surya, with her invention, has created this new way that the other countries or the other world, the whole world out there, they are not looking into. Every time they look at agriculture, the only thing that they would focus on is soil. Okay, how do I improve the soil? How do I make this fertilizer better? How do I get this plant to absorb better? Genetic modifying the seed so that the seed get better yield. But it is all GMO. Then we human who then consume this get scared, or would it then cause cancer? But maybe there is a more natural way to do things, and that is to us why I think innovation is important, because there are so many problems. Food security is one. There are so many other problems out there, but it is through innovation that is how we community can solve and move forward.
So I would say innovation is also relating to doing things better, more efficient or faster. And I think from the perspective from the STEM graduates, because now we have a lot of AI solutions out there, how can you as a STEM graduate to also learn up some basics about different AI tools so that when you are being hired or you are working with a company, you could have different perspective or different sense or different tools that you could actually suggest to the company to innovate. So I think a lot of companies, especially the bigger ones, maybe they are not aware of certain solutions that are available out there that could actually make their operation even more efficient. So I think as a STEM graduate, this new perspective can be actually also bring into the company that you are going to work with. Yeah.
Okay. And what about the biggest misconception that Malaysians have about our industrial future? What do you think they are?
Yeah, because like what I mentioned earlier, right? Everyone looks at Silicon Valley as the it place. If you are an entrepreneur, if you start a company that is solving a new problem, the best way for you to thrive is to be in Silicon Valley. That is where the investments are. That is where a country that would appreciate new tech. But that is not what we are seeing here in Malaysia. There are more and more incentives coming from the government that is pushing more startup, like Chee mentioned earlier, incentives for professors to go out there to commercialize whatever research that they have done. So we're definitely moving up the value chain, and there is a lot of opportunity that Malaysians are now solving. Yeah.
So talking about industrialization, I think semiconductor industry in Penang is doing really great. And from my personal observation as a shopper in Singapore, I have seen some products, for example, like mosquito repellent that is made in Malaysia, but it's not sold in Malaysia. It's not available in Malaysia. Those are very good quality products that are sold overseas or internationally, but they are not available in Malaysia market. And I have also seen like some hand soap brands that are available in international market, also made in Malaysia. Even our sister brand of Uniqlo selling shirts in Japan, also made in Malaysia. Whereas in Malaysia, in Uniqlo, we can only find like maybe products made in Bangladesh, in India or whatnot. So I think Malaysia, in a way, we are trying to move up the value chain and targeting higher value market segments. So I think this will also somewhat drive our industrialization forward.
Now, I want to zoom into your work and what you do at Carpetech, because I think not a lot of Malaysians are really talking about it. It's just a lot of the research that you have done as well, and your team has done, like the photosynthesis. Can you explain to us, like, what exactly do you do and how you're turning agricultural waste into high value products?
So at Carpetech, we upcycle agricultural waste like empty fruit bunch from the palm oil industry and rice husk into this carbon nanomaterial called carbon quantum dots. So what is so unique about this material is that it has a photoluminescent property. So when this carbon quantum dots material being sprayed onto plant leaves, it will help the plant to absorb more light energy. And by absorbing more light energy, the photosynthesis process could be more efficient. And by doing so, plants can actually grow faster, healthier, and for farmers, it's equivalent to higher crop yield, shortened crop cycle. So that brings the economical impact to farmers. Yeah.
So it's not just cool science. It's a big business, right? And there's like a potential for it to be used everywhere else as well. What more do you think needs to be done, or what are your future plans for in your company?
I think for us, after knowing that our technology is able to increase photosynthesis, like when we go down to the farm, they are always so confused, like, okay, why am I interested in increasing photosynthesis? But I think what they do not know that the photosynthesis process itself is quite inefficient. It's like only just 2 to 4% of sunlight is being absorbed, and that is why we saw that there is an opportunity here without having to compete with the current industrial players like the other fertilizer players or the seed players who are in the industry already, because we are creating a new segment, we're creating a new market. Foliar application to increase photosynthesis. So we're not eliminating any other existing players. So to us, that is a win-win even for the distributor. It is an increase in their portfolio of list of things that they sell and increase in revenue. So that is a new thing that, and for Carbotech, for us to move forward is to get more farmers to use this, to adopt this new technology, because again, like I mentioned, they are so puzzled by, okay, for me to increase my yield, of course I need to put fertilizers more,
Yes.
but what is in it for me to put this new photosynthesis enhancer? So for us, what we have done is a lot of trials, a lot of engagements, a lot of on the ground teaching them that, hey, this is important, showing them, hand-holding them with our agronomic team to see the control and the treated plot. Okay, this is the control, you do whatever that you have done, and this is the plot that you additionally add on our photosynthesis
They tested that
enhancer.
themselves then?
They test on themselves, and after 110 days, say for example for paddy, they are able then to see a 30% improvement in their yield. They say, oh my God, this makes sense. This doesn't cost me much, but then a 30% is an ROI of 5 times more, so I can get 1,500 ringgit extra income just by putting in 300 ringgit extra input. So then that makes sense to them. So what we need to do more now is to get more adoption, and that's what we are trying to.
Awareness building, it's what we are doing right now, because a lot of farmers, they are not aware about how important photosynthesis could actually impact their yield. So therefore we have our employees, our hire from STEM graduates, who are really passionate in bridging this knowledge or creating this awareness among the farming communities. Yeah.
Now, how have you scaled up your company from startup to, how did it grow, really?
Yeah, so Dr. Straya was a solo entrepreneur back then. She incorporated Carbotech back in 2018. And she was always wanting to form a team, but I met her in 2021 and I joined her as co-founder after 3 years of her being alone in the company. So she actually did quite a bit of work in home gardening segment before I joined. So she has already accumulated some testimonials from home gardening segment. These home gardeners or plant collectors are enjoying the product. And after I joined her, we started to move up the value chain in a way from home gardening segment, which is relatively small, to commercial agriculture. So we did a lot of pilots in different farms, and we are so fortunate to get the trust from smallholders to start to use our product in their farms. So we tried on leafy vegetable, fruiting vegetable, then moved to rice, also other crops. Then we slowly accumulated more and more data, and with all this data we were able to pitch to bigger agencies, distributors, reseller, and we are also very fortunate that this year we got our first government contract with the Penang state government. So that actually accelerated our revenue growth. So this is about the sales traction growth, or in terms of scaling our revenue. But in terms of scaling our production, we were like incubated in UPM. So we were having our production facility in the university. So we rented a lab space. We were producing at the lab scale. So at that time, we were only able to produce 2,000 liters per month. So that's our maximum capacity. So just to give you the context, 2,000 liters of our solution could actually maybe enough for the usage of maybe divide by 8 it's about maybe 100 plus 100 plus hectares of farmers could actually use our product only.
I see.
And then we onboarded Amirul as our COO, and Amirul actually has successfully scaled up our production from lab scale to our current pilot production facility. So it's a 50 times of upscaling. So now we could actually serve more farmers, more customers. So maybe Amirul would also like to share about how is the production upscaling.
So, I mean, you hear that, okay, from lab to a factory, wow, that's cool, but how did you get there? Where did the money come from?
It's a big change.
Yeah, so then that is where the investments are important. So for any startup, the start is an idea, and then co-founding team, and then getting traction, knowing the business model of it, and then when you want to then scale, what do you do next? So you, as a startup, when we want to accelerate growth, we need investment. So in Malaysia, there are so many opportunities. Within Malaysia, there are grants or even institutions that give money into a startup to then scale whatever that they are doing. So fortunately, for us in Carbotech, we've gotten 1.5 million, actually $2 million US dollars VC money, venture capital money, and this money then helped us to scale from lab into factory and help us to go beyond Malaysia. So Gio mentioned that we've gotten government project here in Malaysia, 2,000 hectares of paddy, but we don't just sell this Carbo Grow, our product name for the photosynthesis enhancer in Malaysia. We do it in Indonesia, we do it in Thailand, in China, and this year we had like a customer that ordered a huge amount in the US that know us through ChatGPT. Yeah. So the blogs or the media traction that we get, whoever that is posting of our company name into the Google or in the SEO, that then being captured by ChatGPT, and literally the farmer or the plantation owner, he typed, "What can I do better for my wheat plantation?" So maybe you can try photosynthesis enhancer. This company in Malaysia, Carbotech, has this solution. Why not you try it? They contacted us, bought few IBC tanks of our product. We shipped it there, and then they're using it. So important to scale is having these investments, and then try to put yourself out there. Do a lot of awareness, keywords optimization on your SEO, digital optimization, and put yourself out there so that people are aware that this technology is available. Yeah, that is, I think, how we scale the company.
So the innovations that you are doing at Carbotech is very important, and especially in Malaysia as well. So when we talk about things like food security, sustainability, and climate goals, how does your company play a part in that, and how important is it to have more of this kind of innovation here in the country?
Yeah, because food security is very important. We all faced it during pandemic that when we couldn't import certain food, and then there is like, okay, a shortage of, say for example, vegetable, a shortage of urea, so we cannot grow our own vegetable here in Malaysia. So food security, we need to be independent. So, and what we are seeing, the farmers are using more and more chemical and making the land more and more infertile. So innovation is key for us to have enough food. When we grow, our population will grow to maybe 20-30%, and we need to produce 50% more food by 2030. So how can we solve that? What can we do with the limited land that we have? Because all the land are now being developed to make housing, to make way for developments of new cities, to house this human. But how are we going to feed this human that are growing?
How do we sustain ourselves?
Exactly.
Right?
So innovation is a key factor here to ensure that we are utilizing the most efficient way for our farm to get the best yield. And that is how we play our part in helping these farmers to get more yield, and in return they get more income. So that is how we are doing, or how we are impacting and helping Malaysia.
And talking about sustainability or circular economy, in our case, we are using empty fruit bunches and rice husk. So these are the ways or raw materials that are available abundantly in Malaysia. And there are a lot of other agricultural waste out there that are available. So actually many companies in Malaysia are trying to use this kind of waste to upcycle to make different things. So for example, one of our friendly companies in our ecosystem, they make composite from agricultural waste, or they make fertilizer or animal feed from agricultural waste. So a lot of innovations are actually developing in Malaysia and trying to address the waste that we are having right now and trying to be part of the circular economic model. So I think we need to support more and more these kind of innovators so that when the industry blooms, then all of us will be benefited.
Absolutely. And going back to Dr. Soraya's story, I think it's quite inspirational how she started off. So if anybody wants to go into this kind of industry, what would you tell them? And what kind of knowledge or skills does someone need to join a field like this?
I think for me, it's more like you need to have the can-do spirit. It's like, okay, you research, you have a new technology, you innovate, but then when you then commercialize it, people get so afraid. Like, where do you begin? But every day is a new challenge. So the advice that I would give to these people is like, you might not know 100% of it, but don't be afraid to make a mistake. Go, just go and proceed. If we are to every obstacle that we find, we take a stop and say, no, I don't think we can move forward to this, then you will never get to your goal. You will never be able to commercialize. It takes Dr. Soraya 7 years. So this is 2018 when she first started the company. It took us 7 years to be, we are still so much more to go for us, but it still takes very long. But time is all it takes. So you just need to say, you can do this, take it one step at a time, go, move. You have this innovation, move forward with it. Get more and more people to understand and utilize it. Because at the end of the day, the more you are able to solve a problem, then like what you said, the whole country, the whole world will benefit from that.
I would say be curious and be pragmatic. So just quoting the example of Dr. Shreya. So before she invented or she discovered this new technology to produce carbon quantum dots, she actually spent 2 decades of her time researching different other materials. So, and from her experiences, she discovered that while working with a lot of advanced material that she was really interested in, the market opportunities were not there yet in Malaysia. So with that kind of realization, although she's very curious about all these advanced material, she somewhat pivoted to more practical materials that could have wider adoption or maybe could benefit the market in the short term, or do not need to wait for other technological developments to come into place. So for any STEM graduates or researchers, try to narrow down your scope, because I think pragmatic tools or technologies are faster into the market in terms of go-to-market speed. Yeah.
And for, you mentioned STEM students, right? For those students who are listening at the moment, what does a day in the life of someone in your field actually look like? Let's make it really real. Like, what is a normal day?
Oh, it's very different. As an entrepreneur, when we have a company, you literally do whatever it takes to get to a place. So there are days where we go down in the field. So we just completed the 2,000 hectares of our project with the government. We go down in the field, we do the sampling, we take 1 meter by 1 meter, gather that, we calculate one by one.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah. And then we
Like
plug the grain one by one.
Yes.
We get it to 100 gram and we measure.
Yes.
So that could be one. The other is the production. So who is producing this product? So we need to make sure that it's able to be scaled, that we are able to meet the demand of our clients, our distributors. So we need to make sure that everything is done correctly. There is QA, QC process in place. We follow the good manufacturing practice. So all that, we need to make sure that everything is streamlined. So for Jiho, Jiho will explain. It
sounds a little bit intimidating.
but at the end of the day, is you are building something that you create. So the energy, because you see things growing that is like yours, right? That's something that you create, and you want to see more and more people benefit from it. So it's exciting. It's not like doing the same thing again and again, repeating the same tasks. Yeah. So you are daily using your brain trying to solve that day's obstacle, that day's challenge.
I would say in Carbotech, we work really hard. So our day-to-day is like really differ a lot. Could be from meeting partners, attending events, and going into the field to talk to farmers, to know their struggle. So I think for our employees, they also got the chance to mingle around with the founding team. I think in Carbotech, we are very lean, so they could actually learn directly from us, from our own experiences dealing with different challenges and difficulties. And at the same time, we are also learning from them because we actually learn a lot of new insights or new perspectives from the Gen Z or what do you call it, Gen Alpha.
It's Gen Alpha now.
Yeah. So a lot of fresh perspective from them, especially like how can we create creative message over our social media and able to send the message across. So I think some of them are really good at doing all this.
But Chee did not mention this, but if you see Chiho's schedule, he just came back from Hong Kong and he's just here today, and tomorrow he will be in Malaysia, and then he's going to be flying back to China. So he's meeting investors, he's taking part in business competitions, meeting potential distributors, potential partners. So Chiho like literally has non-stop things that he has to go
everywhere.
to. He's everywhere. So, but at the end of the day, it is doing whatever it takes to get us out there. Yeah.
Because our technology or our core material at the moment, we do not have we have indirect competitors, but we do not have a direct competitors. And then one thing that we always remind our team is that we need to be really fast into the market so that any potential competitors in the future will not be able to catch up with our speed. So
you're paving the way for them. So for parents who are listening, STEM and TVET today obviously is very different from when it was, like, let's say 10 years ago. So what do you think parents need to understand about the opportunities that are available now?
Honestly, to you, I don't even know where our world would be in 5 years. I never knew that this is the world that we are living in, like this AI, this ChatGPT. So I think what parents can do is to keep a open mind, because you never know what is available, but what you can impart on your children is the ability to think, the ability to solve problem, the ability not to give up on whatever drive that they have, to have a passion to solve and help others. So for me, STEM gives you the foundation, but it's not the end. You need to give them all the sciences, you need to give them all this education, but at the end of the day, the core thing that parents should impart on their children is the ability to think. I think that is what then sets us apart from this AI humanoid and all this kind of thing, because we have our emotions, we have ability to think, and that is, to me, what is valuable to pass on to the next generation.
To be curious, correct?
Be curious, exactly, yeah. Be curious.
How about yourself, Chee?
Yeah, so I'm trained as an engineer, and I think in a lot of STEM subjects, we are also trained to have that logical thinking mindset, meaning, okay, if air fails, so you find out what is the root cause of the failure, then you try to rectify or try to somewhat remove the other non-reasonable causes. So I think this kind of rhythm, logical thinking, problem solving, it's the essence of even running a business, right? So it's not only utilizing what you have learned in STEM to be good at STEM, but also in other aspect of your life. So even in relationship, if A didn't turn out well, you need to find solutions for that. So I think that somehow will benefit your children, even though they are not really pursuing a career in STEM in the future. But all these fundamentals, these logical thinkings will help him to be independent in his or her life.
Yeah. And what are the most in-demand skills do you think are right now?
At the moment, now, I think it will be
not degrees, maybe skills.
Okay, I was about to say like computer science because a lot of people are looking into like the AI, the ability to understand and utilize the existing new technology at the moment is, I think, what is required at the moment. But I do not know, honestly, like in the future, what will happen.
Yeah.
But the gist is make sure that they have all these structures in place. They know the foundation. They are not afraid to try new technology. Go on, make mistake, use and utilize all these tools that are available, and then see how you can use it to help companies, like to help startups, to help create new solutions. So I think that is what degree. Engineering. Honestly, the three of us, we are all engineers. Like for me, I'm biased, but I feel that engineers, their logical thinking is one of the
top tier.
Because to me, whenever I see things, how do you make sense of it? So that's the logic behind. Okay, if your solution does not make sense, then of course, then that's not the solution. So trying to make sense of whenever you be alert, and whatever that you propose out there, it makes sense. So I think for me, I would like to believe that it was engineering background that gave me that set of mindset.
I would suggest like a non-STEM kind of skill. It's very important, which is communication. So I think communication skill, it's very, very important in our day-to-day, especially.
Absolutely.
Because I think we are trying to do something really technical, and our team is breaking down all these technicalities to communicate with farmers, to communicate with our customers, and also like in day-to-day, especially for the younger teammates in our team or the younger employees in our team, because they are from a different generation. So I think bridging that communication gap, or trying to be an effective communicator with them, it's also something that we are still learning. And from their perspective, if they are like really excellent communicator, I think that will also add a lot of values to the company and in our relationship as well.
Now, onto the big picture. Where does NIMP 2030 fit into all of this? And what is actually NIMP 2030, right? And in short, it's Malaysia's national plan to transform our industries and obviously create higher paying jobs. And that's through automation, through AI, through innovation. With that context, how does a national mission like this actually support companies like Carbotech?
Yeah, I think for the government to be moving into this direction is already a win for an industry like ours, because we are pushing nanotechnology, and we have seen so many of our peers that are looking into biotech. A lot of AI startups are coming up. So to have the government recognize that this is something that we need to give more incentive, we need to help, we need to nurture. So that is, to me, a plus points and a nod to all of us that are pushing new innovation into Malaysia. So that is helping us scale, that is giving us more incentives, more recognition for us to push new technology.
And I think a lot of the younger generations, they are really focusing on the power of AI and the development in AI. And sometimes a lot of things that we still need to use, like hard tech or industrialized technologies to execute. So I think with this initiative or this policy by the government, it's somewhat like highlighted the potential of industrialization could be a promising career progression for the younger generations who are maybe just focusing on AI. So there are plenty of other fields out there that they could actually also venture into or be curious to explore. So I think with this NIMP, a lot of focus and a lot of highlights to educate the younger generation so they will be able to widen up their horizon and not just to limit themselves.
And with that thought, what role can SMEs and startups and even communities play in pushing Malaysia towards this high value, very innovation driven economy? What do you think?
I think there are two sides. The community can help to adopt this new technology, help new budding companies buy their services, use their technologies so that they are able to grow. And these SMEs, these corporates that are adopting new innovations, they should push more and get their words out there so people know and aware. Get new talents, hire local. There are so many young talents that are available in Malaysia that you can tap into that could help you drive your company to even a higher growth. So to me, there's two roles that the community and as well as the SME can play in order for us to be a better country.
Focusing on the SME side, I think they could be more, they could actually adopt more technologies out there to be more innovative, to be more daring, to try new solutions or new technologies. Because if you are not giving an opportunity to all these new technologies or new innovations, then no one else will do. So maybe try with a small experiment, a small pilot to work it out first to try to gauge the impact of these new technologies and solutions.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask you for one message from each of you, especially for young Malaysians who might be listening and thinking, I want to be a part of this. Can I really be a part of this? So what is your final call to action?
I think for me is not to be afraid to try on new things. You can create new things or you can just join a team that is already creating new innovation. Try, get yourself out there, be proactive. There are so many great things happening here in Malaysia. Go around, ask around. Don't be stuck in your bubble and thinking, okay, these are the multinational company. They are good. So that's where I'm going to be working at. There are cool things happening out there. You can create your own startup. Now government are taking more, giving more recognition to startups and helping more startups to scale their growth. So you can create your new company that solves a solution through your innovation. Yeah, I think that's my message.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just to be curious and explore. Then you will find the right fit for you.
Also, I just want to add that I think the community itself, like just a regular person who's maybe not even involved in STEM or a startup, they could encourage everybody around them to be more, to join these startups, to be more open-minded as well, and to invest in local SMEs.
Support local.
Yeah, support local. So thank you so much, Amirul and Chee for joining us and for sharing your journey, for sharing your insights and your advice. Honestly, it was a very insightful and very fruitful discussion. So thank you for being here. And to everyone listening, for future jobs in Malaysia, they're not boring anymore. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. And it's getting more creative, more hands-on, more experimental, more sustainable, and very globally relevant. So if you're willing to learn, you can be a part of it as well. I'm Sabrina Zano. Thank you for watching Simbang Santai NIMP 2030.